Welcome to Independence University, and thank you for attending freshman orientation with us today. My name is Laura Kenders, and my co-host today is Chloe Woods, and Theora Jones is doing our attendance. So a few of my favorite people are here, and I'm really excited. So as Student Services Advisors, it is our goal to help you leave today with a better understanding of how to navigate your courses, know who to contact for help, and just feel confident and excited about committing yourself to earning your degree. Now, just a few kind of housekeeping before we move forward. You'll see there's two different things. There's a group chat right there that you've been putting in your sound check stuff, and then you've been putting your first and last names in. The chat is where you're going to want to be putting your first and last name into the box. So put your first and last name into the box now. I'll just give you about 3 or 4 seconds to do that. So yeah, 3 or 4 seconds to do that. And then once you put your first and last name in the chat, you will be counted for attendance. And then we will use the Q&A box to ask questions. So please use that Q&A question if you have questions, and Chloe will be there to answer any questions that may pop up. So feel free to enter a Q&A through any time throughout the presentation, and they will get to you as soon as they can. Okay, so chat is for your first and last name, and the Q&A is for questions. Awesome. Okay. And Chloe, feel free to, if I'm missing something or you don't know the answer or whatever it is, feel free to unmute and let me know. I'm happy to hear all the things. So here we go. Just be aware that my co-host may not be able to answer immediately, but they will be regularly checking throughout the presentation. So if you post a question and don't receive an answer, we will have time at the end of the presentation to review any questions that were missed. And we are going to be covering a lot of information today, so don't stress. You are welcome to take notes, and you will receive an email after the presentation that contains all of the web addresses of the resources that we go over today, and it will also contain a link to the pre-recorded session of freshman orientation. The email also has a link to a survey, and we invite each of you to take the survey. We need your feedback so that we can continue to improve this training. And guys, we really do base our training based off of what you ask for. So just fill that out for us and let us know what you liked and what you'd like to change. Okay, so very shortly here, you will receive an IU acceptance email from your admissions consultant, or we sometimes call them ACs, introducing your student services advisor. We also call those student services advisors SSAs. When you get this email, it will probably be on Thursday or Friday. Some of you might get a little bit early, but you probably have not gotten it yet, so don't freak out. That's okay. If you haven't gotten it yet, that's all right. That's normal. You will be getting it by the end of the week. As soon as you get that email, make sure to use the scheduling link in it to schedule your one-on-one welcome call with your SSA. It looks like a big red button at the bottom, so super easy, and that's kind of what it will look like. Okay, so you will also receive a welcome email from your student services advisor. This generally comes after your handoff email from your admissions consultant. So it will be either at the end of this week or at the beginning or then your first day. So you'll receive it, and watch for that email because it's going to contain the contact information for your student services advisor. I also encourage you to save the information to your contacts so you know when your student services advisor is calling. There are going to be additional reminders in that email as well to schedule your new student welcome call. Now, remember, you are required to complete this call, and some of you will it will be like a group setting, some of you will be a face-to-face one-on-one, and some of you will just be over the phone, and your student services advisor will let you know what that looks like for you. Most importantly, this is a great opportunity to introduce yourself and share your career and educational goals. When you click on the scheduling button, you will be directed to your student services advisor's scheduling page. It looks like this. It's pretty simple. Be aware that some students, like I just said, are going to be invited to schedule a welcome call, and some are going to be invited to schedule a getting started session. The getting started session is more of a face-to-face situation, and you don't have to have your camera on, but they will have theirs on, depending on the situation. So once you're on the scheduling page, you will select your time zone. You will choose an available date. You will choose an available time. You will enter your name and contact information and click the complete appointment button. So you are going to want to find find out what your time zone is because it is specific to you, and then you'll get the reminder sent to your phone and your text and your email based in your time zone, so you don't have to convert it. So it's pretty good. So make sure you do select your time zone before you continue. So during the welcome call and the getting started at IU session, your student services advisor will check to make sure your questions and concerns are addressed. The friendship you develop with your SSA is going to provide not only a resource in times of need, but they're going to serve as your personal cheerleader, your coach, your advisor throughout your program. So over the next few slides, we're going to just dive in and discuss some of those stumbling blocks that a lot of new students face. And pay attention because we do work with hundreds of students each module, and we have identified some pretty common pitfalls. So undergraduate students enrolling for the first time with Independence University are provided with a tablet and a laptop. So keep in mind, you will receive your laptop prior to or during week 1 of your first module. You will receive your laptop at the end of your third module, and once you complete your program and graduate, the tablet and laptop are yours to keep. If you have any technical issues with your tablet or your laptop, you do need to reach out to our IT because IT issues are not an acceptable reason for submitting late work. It is your responsibility to have that backup plan. So we will review on how to work with IT a little bit later. And if you have any technical issues, just make sure you're reaching out to the IT department. They are there for you and there to help. So, speaking of backup plans, during the enrollment process, you have kind of been thinking about those backup plans. And one of those questions that your admissions consultant may have asked you is, in the event that your internet or your equipment fail, what is your plan for completing your assignments? And let me just tell you that most students don't give this scenario enough thought. They really, technology is unpredictable. Technical issues are not an acceptable reason for submitting late work or requesting additional time from your instructor. So often students are caught off guard and their backup plan just does not hold up in difficult circumstances. If the library is your backup plan, you need to really be thinking about how you will keep up with your coursework if you are faced with having only the library to complete your work. If your plan is to use a family member or friend's internet, think about when you'll be able to use that internet, how you will get there, and basically just how are you going to make it work? How are you going to overcome those distractions? So that's really important. Remember, reach out to the IT department quickly if you are experiencing problems with your tablet. It takes time to walk through the required and necessary steps of diagnosing, and if needed, replacing equipment. Alert your instructor and your student services advisor so they can keep in touch with you and offer valuable options and information. Take a second now and think, what can you use as your backup? And remember, your phone is not a backup. Let's talk about it. A lot of people think, can I use my mobile phone as a backup? This picture is a pretty good visual aid for representing the effectiveness of only having your phone to complete work. There are a few things you can use your phone for, and I would encourage you to use your phone as a resource, but not your primary resource. We encourage you to download and use the Canvas app for Android and iPhones. Your SSA can help you download that app if you have any difficulties. So let's go over a few ways you can use your phone. You can keep up with course announcements, complete daily checkpoints, download the Zoom app, and attend a live session. You can read articles, watch course videos, and read assigned chapters. You will not be able to successfully complete assignments, assessments, or discussion posts on your phone. Your tablet is going to arrive with Office 365 preloaded. We're going to go through a few steps to make sure you understand how to activate your Office 365 account. Your Office 365 account will be good for your entire program, and it is offered to you at no cost. Okay, so all first module students will receive a user account email letting them know that their Office 365 account has been created. The email will contain your login credentials to activate your Office 365 account. The login credentials must be entered exactly as they appear in the email. If you have not yet received your email, it will be sent. If you haven't received it by Monday of your first week, and about the afternoon, I'd say, probably not the morning. If you haven't received it by Monday afternoon of week 1, reach out to your student services advisor to request that it be sent. And also make sure your junk folder, check that, because a lot of times we do get those emails sent directly to the spam folder, it seems like. So before you request the email be resent, check the spam folder, because if we resend it, it's most likely just going to go straight back to that spam folder. So you do have to be on your tablet to activate your account. So be aware of that. You can't just be on your phone to activate it. Okay. So let's walk through those steps to activate it. So you're going to click open the Windows icon on your taskbar. You're going to scroll down through the menu and click on Word, or it'll show probably Word 2016. When the Word opens, the activation box will appear. You're just going to type your username exactly how it appears in the email you got with the information. You can even copy and paste it. Hit next, then enter your password exactly how it appears in the activation email. You can even copy and paste that. If you have any issues activating your Office 365 account, reach out to IT so quickly so they can help troubleshoot with you, okay? So one more tip for tablet setup. Most likely your tablet's going to be turned on to tablet mode when you get it. We recommend that you turn off tablet mode so that you are able to get the full version of Office 365. Tablet mode is pretty good, but you're going to need to turn it off in order to get your full access to your Office 365 products. And it's pretty simple. You just got to, select the Action Center on the taskbar and click Turn Off. So easy. Student IT, oh my gosh, how much we talked about them, right? So what's the best way to contact them? A big part of week 1 is getting your tablet set up and ready to use, and being able to reach out quickly for support if you are having any issues with your school issued tablet. The best way and the fastest way during week 1 is, because they get a lot of phone calls and they get a lot of emails, the live chat. And I will show you where to go to live chat. And let's see. Okay. We'll go through it together. So pop quiz. Pop quiz. If you have technical issues with your tablet, who should you reach out to? Put it in the chat, not the Q&A. So where you entered your first and last name, put that in the chat there. IT. Yes, I love it. Okay, I'm going to do a last, so Theor is just finishing up attendance, gathering all the names. So at this point, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already put your first and last name in the chat, go ahead and please put those first and last names in the chat. Okay, so if you haven't already done it, you need to go ahead and put first and last name in the chat. Where everyone's putting IT right now, go ahead and put your first and last name in that box. Okay, if you haven't already. But IT is the correct answer. Good job, guys. Okay. All right, attention. So important notices. Put those questions in the Q&A if you have it, okay? And put your first and last name in the chat if you haven't already. So you've probably heard me say module a lot. And you're like, what is that? So a module is 4 weeks. Every 4 weeks, every 4 modules is an academic period. So every module you'll have 1 or more courses. Yes, that means that your courses are 4 weeks long. And every 16 weeks, which is every 4 modules, is an academic period. And a lot of times that's how it's organized with your financial aid as well. So important to know. Okay, now time zones. This is a big one, guys. Who knew they could be so confusing? All times listed in your course are mountain time, okay? And we're talking Utah mountain time right here. So we do follow daylight savings time, unlike Arizona, which does not observe daylight savings time. So whenever you see mountain time, just be aware that this is observing daylight savings time. So right now, obviously, we're not on daylight savings time. We're on MST, Mountain Standard Time. But come spring, we're going to be back to Mountain Daylight Savings Time. So just be aware, you can always Google what time is it in Utah, and that will be the time that's in the class. So just if you live in Arizona, be aware your state is in Mountain Time Zone, but does not observe daylight savings time unless you live in the Navajo Indian Nation. So take the time to figure out time zones and make sure you get your work in on time. Here are a few ideas to stay organized and up to date on your submissions. Set up an additional clock on your desktop. You can set one clock to mountain time and the other to your time zone, and then right click on the hidden icon menu and click adjust date time and add an additional clock. You can also just buy an inexpensive clock and set it to mountain time, or post-it note reminders. And guys, I'm going to be completely real here. Before everyone floods the question with, I'm in Mississippi, what's my time zone? How late is it going to be when I need to submit my thing? everyone's different. There's 50 states, right? And there's a lot of time zones. So the fastest and best way to figure out the difference between where you are and mountain time, just Google it. No joke. Everyone has access to Google. Google that. That is the best way. Just Google it. I love it. Okay. All right. So, as a student, we're going to talk a little about professionalism. We are preparing you to enter a professional career, and the university itself is a professional environment. So, in preparation for your professional career and in respect of the fact that the university is a professional environment, we suggest that you communicate professionally with your success team and university staff. What does that mean? So, it means two different things when it comes to email. First, we want to encourage you, each of you, to create a professional email address for use during school. So you could use, if your name's John Smith, you could use john.smith@gmail.com, or you could use jsmith@gmail.com, or if you're going into maybe graphic arts, you could be jsmithga@gmail.com, whatever it may be. Just make sure that it is professional and it is clear who you are, because this is an email you'll be used to communicate with professional future employers and your staff here. Now, this is we encourage you to do this. It's not required at all. Okay, just remember to check your email often and daily. So whatever email you use, whether it be something professional or not, just make sure you're using it, you're checking it, and you're really keeping up with the information sent. If you do create a new email, don't forget to update the information in your Canvas account, and then also let your student services know so that we can update it in your student file. Now, I have a quick professionalism tip. And here's what I will tell you. Your student services advisor, your instructors, everyone you deal with on a regular basis while your time here in school, whenever you're emailing them, please include your first and last name in the email. That is so important, and it is such a small thing, but it can make such a big difference in terms of looking professional. All you need to do is you can either add it in the subject line. You can say John Smith, question about course 101, and that can be it. That could be the subject line, or you could put it in a signature of the email. You could say, write the email and then sign it off, John Smith. It's just something you can do to be a more professional individual in school, and it definitely will help you get your questions and concerns addressed faster. Okay. All right, so week 1 requirement. So there are a couple. Let's talk about the cancel policy. So you need to make sure that you're completing 4 daily checkpoints. You're submitting your week 1 assignment on time. That is by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And you're doing all that within the first week. Okay, so if you don't do that, if you do not meet the week 1 requirement, you will be unenrolled from the program. Okay, now let's say you make it past week 1 and you've done everything you needed to do, but unfortunately you're just not hitting 70% grade-wise. If you do not hit 70% grade-wise at the end of week 3 or at the end of week 4, they will unenroll you. And unfortunately at that point, re-enrollment can take over 6 months, and it is not guaranteed. So this is not something you have infinite chances at, unfortunately. This is something that we want you to work hard at and do well in, and we want to set you up for success. So attendance is another policy that's going to be enforced throughout your program. And basically, if you're not participating in your course for 14 consecutive days, that's 2 weeks, that's half the module, you will be dropped from the university as well. So really what it means is participation is not the same as logging into your course and looking at things. Participation is you're submitting something, you're posting something, you're completing something. A lot of times I like to share this with my students that imagine we're at a physical campus and you drive to campus, you park your car, and then you sit in the car. That's the equivalent of logging into Canvas. You're quote unquote on campus, but are you in class? So the equivalent of doing daily checkpoints and doing submissions is more like actually attending your course and actually attending your class. So that's kind of how I like to phrase it. So, okay, pop quiz. At the end of week 3, what is the minimum grade that you must meet to maintain active status in your program? Lots of 70s. Does everyone agree? I think it's unanimous. Yes, 70% is exactly right. Awesome. That's exactly right. Okay, good job, guys. So let's take a second and let's talk about holidays, summertime, and vacation. Independence University has one official 2-week break per year, during which students will have no daily checkpoints and no coursework due. It's a holiday. So all other holidays throughout the year and the summer months, including summer, do not change course due dates. You're going to have a new course or a new module every month. They are not going to stop. Even if it's the summer, even if it's 4th of July, those due dates don't change. Make sure to look ahead and see where those due dates land. A lot of times those holidays and summer months are going to land right when something important is due. So plan accordingly, work ahead in your course to prepare for vacations, communicate with your instructor and your student services advisor to make them aware if you will be gone for more than a week. Just remember that daily checkpoints and follow-up discussion posts cannot be completed ahead of time. So plan those times to meet your course obligations. Okay, it's really important. And remember that attendance still applies. So every time you go 14%. Oh, and I did want to call out in the chat, somebody put 69% plus. And actually, I've had students who scored 69.99 and they were unenrolled. So you do have to be at 70%. It can seem very nitpicky, but frankly, there has to be a cutoff somewhere, and 70% is the cutoff. So thank you actually very much for saying that, because that brings up a really good point. So thank you so much. And no, as long as you can get in, somebody asked, I work full time, will that affect my attendance? And this is so important to answer right now because we're just talking about this. And I like to say no. As long as you can get your work in every day, do your daily checkpoints, do your discussion posts, do your assignments. No, I don't think so. The majority of our students work full time. Okay, so we're going to spend the next few minutes kind of walking through each of the main resources you will use during your program. Okay, and let's see. Let me pull up. Start with Canvas. Okay, so this is kind of what Canvas looks like. You'll have your own login for it, obviously, and we're going to go into APP 110. And you'll see a bunch of boxes. This is the home page, okay? Now here's the deal. I am not gonna be able to click through everything in time, right? And so I do want you to explore on your own. So I guess we'll start with the student portal. The student portal allows students to manage the administrative elements of their education. So your username will typically be your first name dot last name, and your password is one that you will create. So if you have forgotten your login information, your student services advisor can reset it for you. And the student portal is where you'll manage like your personal information, your financial aid, your upcoming course schedule, and your school documents. So let me pull that up for you. This is what it looks like right here. When you have it signed in. So you can see here, up here will show your next classes. You can even access Canvas from here as well. You can see your list of advisors. This is a test account, so there's not a full list, but normally when you click this, you would be able to see your student services advisor, your faculty program advisor, etc. When you go to academics, you can see your unofficial transcript, which is so helpful, guys. So this is great. You can kind of see what's going on. You can see a GPA calculator, your schedule coming up, your grades, and see there's your unofficial transcript right there. You can see how much a degree audit, so you can see how many courses credits you have remaining. Then you can obviously go down to finances. See, here's your tax documents here. Here's your, any school loan documents you might have signed, or making a payment. You can make a payment through the student portal as well. So it's pretty great. It's pretty comprehensive. This is not where you complete schoolwork. This is where you have all your personal information stored. And I do use it, and I recommend it in a lot of my one-on-one calls with my students, because you can see, okay, this is just a test student, but normally you'd see several courses listed here for what's coming up. Okay, so this is student portal. It's very helpful, and I highly recommend checking it out. And again, if you have not gotten a login for it, you probably will not get a login for it for a little bit here. And again, any emails that we talked about, the welcome emails and those handoff emails, you're not going to get those until the end of this week or the beginning of next week. So don't be looking for them today. You probably it'll be a little early to look to get them. Okay, student portal. Talked about that. Let's talk about Canvas. So just where I showed you. So the course this is where your courses will be loaded in for. So this is what the sign-in page looks like. It does work best with Google Chrome. So if you forgot your login information for this, please contact IU Help, your student services advisor, to get the password reset. So once you log in, you're going to see the dashboard. So let me pull up this course. This is the dashboard. So this is your courses right here. So all your starred courses will show up here. Let's say you log in and you don't see anything here. Or let's say you log in, now here's the deal. You're not going to see anything on this until Monday of week 1. So do not log into this expecting to see something today. You will not see it until Monday morning, not Sunday at midnight, Monday morning of week 1, okay? So if you don't see it here listed though, let's say it's Monday at noon or something and you look in and you're like, where is everything? You can go to all courses. So go to courses, all courses, and make sure it's starred. If it's not starred, let me show you what happens. When you go back to the dashboard, it's gonna disappear. So you want to make sure all your courses that are active are starred. This is helpful for organizing your thing. Every mod, you may want to go through and unfavorite the courses that you've already finished because this way you can keep it clean and easy. So we will click into the class now, and this will be on the home page of your course. So something to know about your account here before we move into, before we move into the home page, let me show you this. You can change your notification settings. This adjusts how and when your course notifications are sent to you. I do encourage you to have your messages delivered every day as a daily summary. I wouldn't recommend notifying right away, and I wouldn't recommend weekly summary, and I definitely would not recommend do not send me anything. This, you'll miss out a lot of stuff. This, you'll still miss out a lot of stuff. This is just right, and this is way a lot, because every time someone posts anything, you'll get an email, and that's going to flood you, especially if you have a module in which you're taking more than one class, which not everyone will, but some people will. And then obviously there's also, you can go to your settings, you can change your profile, you can add a profile picture. Highly encourage you to maintain professionalism. Remember that the university is a professional environment, but you can add more information about you and any kind of links you have. Maybe you're in graphic arts and you have a portfolio already established, or as you're going through, you can always add that as well, okay? So let's make it all the way to the home page. Oh, hold on. We lost ourselves. Here we go. Make our way to the home page of the course. Here we go. Okay, so every single day you will see a daily checkpoint. A lot of times that will show up under the to-do. This is not something I would rely on as reliable. Don't rely on the to-do for what's due. The most important way to check what's coming up is to go through modules. But before we head there, I'm going to show you a couple things on the home page, okay? So I recommend clicking, it'll say like click here to begin class, and you click that. There's also, here's the link to the live session right here. So when you click this, you'll be able to see, here's the link. So at the time, all times are in mountain time, remember, you can see it'll have a list. It'll say, okay, this live lecture will be held on Tuesday at 2:30. Some classes will have multiple listings by multiple instructors, like 10 different live lectures through the week, and you only have to go to one. Not all lectures are recorded. Typically in your first module, you will not have the option to watch a recording. Typically in your first module, they will not be recorded. So be aware of that. Be aware that you do need to make time for a live session. A lot of live sessions are held throughout the week during your first couple modules, and I'm sorry, for your first couple weeks, and also sometimes they're even on weekends. So if you have concerns about this, work with your student services advisor, and they can help you kind of go through and be like, okay, look, but there's one open on Saturday, or whatever it looks like. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility to watch that live session, or if you absolutely cannot make the live session, you will look at the recording, and the instructor can work with you on that possibly. But I will say, majority of the time, live lectures are where it's at for the first mod. Okay. Okay, readings and videos, all these links are really good, and I just encourage you to dive into them, and we are going to dive into this one in just a bit, as well as the library. Okay, so, and It's all very helpful. This bio is where I recommend checking. If you need to get in contact with your instructor, it will list, hey, I prefer to be emailed, I prefer to be called, I prefer to be texted, whatever it is, and they'll give you their hours and everything else. So if you ever need to get in contact with your instructor, let them know. And then as far as somebody put in the chat, how do I watch the live lecture if I'm working during that time? There are a lot of options. There are lots and lots of options. So there's definitely more than enough, hopefully, to work around your work schedule. And you can always talk to your instructor as well about that. But after the first module, they are recorded. Okay. So this is kind of what Canvas looks like. And then, okay, so the instructor will tell us when classes start. No, they'll start on Monday. Monday was when they'll start. Monday morning. Just log in when you get up, and you'll be able to see it. So yeah, super easy. And then and Tesla, yeah, you can absolutely leave this one and go to the 4 o'clock one. That's fine. You also get a recording as well, as long as you put your name in the attendance. And the live lectures depend on each class. They are definitely depend on each class. So check it out. And then Anna wanted me to expand on the concept of mountain time. I'm currently operating off Eastern time, and the concept of timing seems a bit intimidating, confusing. So if something is due at 11:59 p.m. Mountain time, it will be due for you. So 11:59, 12:59 would be Central, 1:59 a.m. would be Eastern. So that's when it's due for you, 1:59 Eastern. Okay. All right, and I recommend Google. This is a good friend. Okay. All right, so moving forward, let's talk about the announcements. So announcements is where your learning coaches information will be posted. Learning coaches are really good. They're tutors in the Student Success Center, and they can work with you one-on-one. And we'll kind of go into that a little bit later in detail when we go into Shark. But do be aware that the announcements page is where you're going to find vital information about the course learning coaches and support resources. Syllabus. If you take the time to become familiar with the course guidelines, school policies, and your instructor introduction information, you will be a more informed student, and this is where you can read all about it. Okay. Now, I mentioned earlier, who remembers modules is kind of the one I was talking about when I said the to-do list is not necessarily the reliable stop. Modules is the comprehensive one-stop shop for your go-to. Okay. So when you log into your course, frankly, I just click onto modules. There you go. First off, you get some information up here from your instructor. Then every week you have everything listed. If it has a point value beneath it, you know it's graded. If it does not have a point value beneath it, it is not graded. So this is just kind of like an introduction. Sometimes it'll be like hey, tell us about yourself. That if it does not have a point value beneath it, it is not graded. The week 1 discussions, some of you will have 1 discussion per week. Some of you will have 2 discussions per week, depending on the type of program you are in. Okay. If you have a question about that, talk to your admissions consultant this week before you start, and they can discuss what that looks like for you. Most of the time, there's not really a choice. If you're in the program you're in, you're in the program you're in. So definitely talk to your admissions consultant if you have concerns about that prior to starting. Okay. So the week 1 discussions, if you have 2, they're both due on Wednesday. If you have 1, it's just due on Wednesday. What it looks like, you click it open. It's very long. Read it because this is going to tell you how to do discussion posts for the rest of your time here. So important. Okay. It gives you screenshots. There's even videos. So you should know how to do this. By the time you finish reading this and watching this and going through it, you should not have questions. Now, if you do, you can always talk to a learning coach in the Student Success Center, like I mentioned before, and we'll walk through this together. But the discussion post is going to be very thoroughly explained. So the prompt is what tells you what you're writing about, and the requirements tell you what you have to do. Okay. So the main post, so one main post with the citation, that has to be done by Wednesday of your first week. Okay, by 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Your 2 follow-up replies to your peers, so like little peer responses, those are due by Sunday night. So this is due by Wednesday, this is due by Sunday. This is the only thing due Wednesday unless you have 2 discussion posts, in which case you'll have 2 main posts due. Okay. All right. And then you have your assignment. The assignment is very important. Who remembers that, well, I gave it away. Never mind. I was gonna make it a question, but I just gave it away. So the week 1 assignment is a part of your week 1 requirements. Meaning, if you do not complete this, or if you complete it and it's just it's nothing, just know that that does not fulfill your starting agreement. So you said that you would fulfill the starting requirements, and when you signed up, and if you don't complete the week 1 assignment, you're not fulfilling that starting requirement. So you do have to be able to create folders, and show that you've downloaded Office 365 for a lot of these courses. Now, if you're in a different course, it may look a little different, but for the majority of you, it will look something like this. Okay, it walks you through it. This is the biggest graded piece for every single week. It is due by Sunday. Your assessment is a quiz. Do not take your assessment first thing. I know that it's listed alphabetically. It comes before assignment does. I recommend doing your assessment the very last. So it kind of sums everything up for the week. It is time. Do not attempt it until you are ready to take it and you're ready to be successful. Okay. Last but not least, the live lecture quiz. Not every course will have this. Sometimes if you have a course in the future that's recorded, you can watch the recording and answer this as well. Okay. All right, so every week will look the same. It will have different material in them, but they will look very similar. So you'll have your discussion, your assignment, your assessment, your live lecture quiz. Week 3, week 4. Now, something that's available every single day is a daily checkpoint. It's also called a DC or a DCP. DCPs are only available on the day that they're available. So DC week 1 Monday. If you miss this, you're not going to be able to complete it on Tuesday because Tuesday, the DC week 1 for Tuesdays opened up. So they are a one shot per day situation. So you can't clock it. You can't complete Mondays on Wednesday or Tuesdays on Wednesday. That's not going to work. You got to go in on the day of. Now, who knows? Does anyone have any idea how many of these you have to complete per week in order to maintain full credit? Anybody have an idea? Wow, y'all are on it. It is 4, exactly. Now, if you get more than 4, any idea what you would get? It's a more complicated question than 4. Yeah, Whitney's got it. Extra credit. Yep. Good job, Whitney. Exactly. So basically, you have to have 4 complete ones. Okay. So you can't just like do 4 and get all of them wrong. You will not get full credit for that. 0 out of 5 points, 0 out of 5 points, 0 out of 5, 0 out of 5. No, you have to get 20 points. So 5, 10, 15, 20 points per week in order to get full credit. Anything more that you do will be extra credit. So if you do, you're not automatically going to get 15 points extra credit. You're just going to get extra credit for what you do. So if you just do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's 4, and then you do Friday, then you get 5 points extra credit, and then you skip Saturday and Sunday. Now, important note, if you do extra credit, it is not going to show up until the last day of class. You may not even see it. The instructor will grade it afterwards, okay? So your grade may look a little artificially lower. So it's really important not to rely on extra credit to make it past the week 3 minimum grade. So don't expect these extra credit points to boost you over that 70% in week 3 or week 4. I'm sorry, in week 3 especially, okay? All right, so those are daily checkpoints. Very interesting, very good. And that's Canvas. Now like I said, there's a lot on Canvas. I didn't cover everything, and that's good. I want you on Monday next week to go through and click through and find all that information, and look for yourself. And later courses will have the ebook information in the modules, and there's a whole lot in there. So definitely don't take my word for it. Look around, explore, and reach out to your student services advisor if you do have questions. And obviously, you're going to be talking with them anyway because you're going to be scheduling that welcome call with them. Okay, pop quiz. What option below is the best choice to view weekly coursework in Canvas? Yes, that's awesome. Now, I do want to point out the grades right here. I'm going to pull up Canvas one more time here. That's exactly right. Modules is correct. Now, I didn't show you the grades tab, and this is important. When you go to grades, you're going to see all your things available, right, for grading. Now, Important point. Let's say you can test different scores as well here. You can put in like if I got a 90, what would that do for my grade? And then you can see hypothetical. See, this is not your official score. I got 50%. So pretty cool. But here's an important fact. Let's say your instructor puts a comment in here and they say, oh, Jane Doe, that was such a good discussion post you did. I really wish you had cited your work though. Don't forget to do that in the future. And then you reply and you say, thank you so much for the kind words, Instructor Smith. I actually don't know how to do a citation. What do you suggest? And they never get back to you. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, they hate me. I'm hated now. They don't even care. Here's the truth. Students who post responses to graded comments in this section in the grading, so when you'll have a little comment and you respond to it, it'll be like a little comment. The instructor's not notified of those comments. So if you ever have a question for the instructor, please be sure you're reaching out to them directly and not commenting on your grades. If you have a question about something they put in your grades, please email them or Canvas message them directly. Again, they're not notified about comments in the grading section. Very important to know. Okay, all right, so that kind of covers the Canvas section, and we'll kind of move on to moving further along. So we already talked a little bit about this, but we'll go through it again. So now you have a good idea how to navigate your courses in Canvas. The course due date. So they are due by dates. Avoid excess stress and submit your work early. Okay, so daily checkpoints are available from the beginning of the day, so from like Monday 12 a.m. to the night of Monday 11:59 p.m. or every single day after that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Main discussion posts are due by Wednesday, so that's what we talked about. If there's one or two, either one, that main post is due by Wednesday night. Again, all these times are in Mountain Time. 2 reply posts are per discussion board. So if you do have 2 discussion posts, that means you're going to have 4 reply posts due, and those are due, excuse me, by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, I would complete those on 2 separate days. Some instructors do like to see that credit spread out. Assessments, assignments, and live lecture quizzes are all due by Sunday as well. All times are in Mountain Time. There are assessments, assignments, live lecture quizzes, and discussion posts due every single week. Okay? All right, pop quiz. Who knows what's due on Wednesday night? No later than 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Any ideas? And feel free to be more specific. Yeah, because the discussion post is due, but it's something particular about it. And daily checkpoint is due Wednesday as well. That's true. Yeah, it's the main discussion post. The discussion replies are not due until that Sunday. The main post is due by Wednesday night, as well as the Wednesday checkpoint. But you don't have to do the Wednesday checkpoint if you've done, or if you plan to do 4 other ones. Okay. Good job, guys. Good job. Very good. Okay. Let's explore Shark. Shark, let me go back to Canvas. Okay, so let's say you're in your course and you are thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know how to cite things. I'm really confused. That's okay. You can go to Shark. Now you can also click directly to Student Success in here, but for the sake of this experiment, we will be talking about Shark directly. So you can click there. It will pull up this. Okay, this is our resource website. It also stands for Study Hall Academic Resource Center. I promise you will probably never hear it spelled that way out again. It's never spelled that way. Everyone just calls it Shark, and that's kind of the end of it. Here's something I will tell you. Okay, if you are having IT issues, we talked about what's the fastest way to reach IT, guys? Does anyone remember? Put in the chat if you remember what the fastest way to reach IT is. Yeah, live chat. Okay, this is how you do it. So you click on the help, click here for live chat. It's going to pop up. Now, depending on your ad block settings, and you can click up here to make sure your ad block settings are not blocking it, put your name in there, put your email in there, put a detailed question so they know how to help, and then select IT support. Now, it is worth mentioning that the live chat is also for password resets with the IU Help. So if your Canvas password isn't working, you can get a reset from the IU Help there, or your student portal password as well, which you can also get your student portal password reset from your student services advisor, but this may be a little faster. Then there's also the IU Library library. So if you are needing help with some sources, kind of needing some help figuring something out or finding something in the library, you can chat them as well. But probably the most important thing you'll find is the IT support. Keep in mind, IT support is not for passwords. It is not. IU help us for passwords. IT support is for everything else. So your device is cracked, your device is locked up, your device is growing a unicorn. I don't know. Anything can happen. Talk to IT. They're the ones. Okay. All right. They do have specific hours, so please make sure you are visiting IT support during those hours, because if you visit them at midnight, they're not going to be there. So do be aware of that. You know, they do have hours. They do work on Saturdays though, and Monday through Friday as well. They have an email and they have a phone. I don't recommend leaving voicemails for them. It can be very full and they take a very long time to respond to voicemail. So if you don't get them on the phone the first time, shoot them an email, or better even yet, go to live chat. Okay? Cool. All right. There is, and I do want to talk about this as well, ADA support. If you have a disability and you would like support with that, please reach out to Tiane Venter at independence.edu. This information is here in the chat as well. Okay. If you have questions about what tablet or laptop you're getting, it's right here in the chat as well. So this chat help area is very good. Okay. Now, there's a whole bunch, kind of we talked about in Canvas, there's so much here, guys. There's all kinds of information. When you get closer to graduation, you'll be able to register for graduation here. There's an IU store, so you can even buy cool IU swag, like if you want a sweatshirt or hoodie or something to put on your car, you can buy all that here. I have an IU sticker on my car, and I probably need to buy a new one because the sun has pretty much faded it completely. All the stickiness is almost gone. Okay, there's all kinds of cool. You can even see what our graphic arts students have done in the gallery. Pretty cool. There are Freshman Club webinars here. We will talk about them a little bit later. Alumni Association clubs and communities. So if you are interested in finding out more about your program and a club maybe for them, check it out because they are fantastic and they have different times and different available and different services. We have a career services center. You'll be paired with a career services advisor as you go through your program, and they can help you find a job while you're in your program, after your program, that can help you polish up your resume or do mock interview tips. Very cool. Student services, that's where I am. I'm a student services advisor and I love it. Let's see if I can find me. So, and maybe at the bottom, here I am. So definitely check us out. You will have your own student services advisor. If you ever don't know how to schedule an appointment with them, if you're like, how do I schedule an appointment with them? And you've already completed your welcome call, you can click on these people here and schedule with their link, but make sure that you have already completed your welcome call with them because otherwise they have a very specific welcome call format that they do want to do with you for your first talk. Student Success Center is where it's at, guys. This is what I've kept talking about this whole time. So important. Hours of operation. Click that. Find your class. Find out what time they are available. So let's say today they're available, well, next week, they're available from 12 to 7 Mountain Time, then 10 to 11, 10 to 11. Keep in mind, if you're Eastern Time, this would look more like 2 to 9 p.m. or 12 to 1 a.m. So just make sure you're converting, and at the time you want to go into the Student Success Center, you'll say click to enter. It will pop up this into Zoom. I'm not going to click it because I'm running this meeting right now, but it will pop you into a Zoom room, and at that point you'll tell them, hey, I'm here for APP 101 or CSS 101 or whatever class you're in, and they can help you out. Okay. So very, very helpful. You can do it for a 30-second question you have. You can go in and get 30-minute help. Whatever you need, they're here to help you. Now, let's say you have a paper and it's kind of a mess and you're like, man, I really wish I had someone to put a second pair of eyes on this. Is the Student Success Center the right place for you? No, actually we have, well, here's the deal. We do have hours of operation for a writing lab. So if you're in the process of writing or you need help with citations, you can absolutely pop in during these hours to the writing lab and in Zoom and get some help. But let's say you've completed your paper and you just need someone to look it over. You can go to the Writing Center and log in. So you just need to do your first and last name and whatever email's registered. Then you can upload your paper or for review, and then they can give you feedback within 48 hours. Oh, so sorry, that's my phone. Or you can also do a one-on-one session to meet with a Writing Center specialist. Okay, so we do have a student submission area. There is no need to make an appointment for submissions. Just be aware that there is that 48-hour turnaround for submissions. Okay. All right, that's the Writing Center. All righty, we're going to head back over here. Just check it out if you have some time. There's all these databases for the library for sources, research guides. It's all free for you to use as a student. Okay. Whew. Deep breath, right? We've been through a lot today. So just keep in mind, each student at IU will be assigned a student success team. Your AC, admissions consultant, and FP, financial planner, have helped you get to this point. Now you'll be introduced to your SSA, student services advisor, who will be your main point of contact throughout your program. Your faculty program advisor, FPA, will be assigned within a few weeks of starting your program, and your active student planner, ASP, will replace your financial planner by the end of your third module. And they'll help you transition into being more of a, less of a freshman and more of a pro student. You will also be assigned to a career services advisor to assist you in preparing to enter your career field. Each member of the student success team plays a specific role, and their goal is to work together to support you during your journey to graduation. So it will be reviewed in detail during the freshman webinar series, and this is great. So definitely make sure that you go to that, okay? Basically, call your student services advisor if you get into trouble. Kind of like this donkey. Is it a mule or a donkey? I don't know. If you're not sure, no, if you're unsure of which member of your student success team to speak to, you can reach out to your student services advisor for help. You may at some point or many points feel overwhelmed like this donkey/mule. And if that comes, reach out and talk through your concerns with your student success center. We have split people. Some people are saying mule, some people are saying donkey. I don't know. It's unclear to me, but it is very clear he's in trouble, and he probably should talk to his student service advisor, or at least the person running that cart. Okay, all right, so pop quiz. If I have a question and I don't know who to talk to, who should I get in contact with? It's not Ghostbusters. You guys, such good listeners. I love it. Yes, student services advisors. That's exactly right. And you're already using the acronym. Like, I've been so proud of you. You've come so far so quickly. Okay, so just another plug for those program introduction webinars. Oh, I don't think I've talked about them yet, actually. Program introduction webinars are on this Thursday. So work with your admissions consultant to get these scheduled. This is not another freshman orientation. This is different. This is to talk about your program. This is very cool. If you're in tech, you'll get to talk about tech. If you're in healthcare, talk about healthcare, graphic arts, et cetera, there's a lot of options. Before we wrap things up, just be aware, we are hosting that. So if you're not scheduled to attend, work with them. You do not want to miss it. You're going to be introduced to your staff, and all the SSAs will be there of your program. All your program's faculty will be there, or not, maybe, hopefully all of them will be there. And you will learn vital information about your specific program. Very cool. Okay. Get excited. Before we end, I want to get you pumped for the day each of us are looking forward to, the day when you are holding your degree certificate in your hand and knowing all your work and sacrifice was worth the investment. So get excited for what you're about to accomplish. I want to show you something pretty cool. It is a video, and we have ones for every single year, but my favorite is 2017. So we're actually going to listen to this.
Hello, fellow graduates. We made it. We don't just get this nice feeling of finishing a book or a fancy certificate in an email. We get to attend a graduation. We are seen by our friends, our family, and loved ones that share in that accomplishment.
I mean, I flew from Gulfport, Mississippi to Salt Lake City, so we'll see how this goes.
From Michigan. We flew in yesterday, my family and
I can't miss it. I mean, I did this for 4 years, and I just want to be able to participate in it and just show my family as well that I actually just graduated.
And to have everybody come here, have a cheering section at a school that this is the first time I've been on campus. And I've got my family here. I couldn't have painted a better ending.
I felt like my kids really needed to see me graduate because Dad's been gone for a long time.
I mean, I'm in shock. I just can't believe I did this.
I did do it. I did stick with it, and I finished.
If there's one thing that I've learned through all of my education is that we should never stop learning.
Education is so powerful. It's one of the greatest rate of returns you can ever invest in. is yourself in education.
It's a big accomplishment to get a bachelor's degree.
It's going to help me get a better career.
It changed my life, and it will definitely be changing other people's lives.
It's a big step for me, a big goal, really.
So my last discussion post, I posted in the title, last discussion post ever, all caps, exclamation mark, and somebody else was like, hey, mine too. And then another person was like, hey, are you going to walk? It's like, heck yeah, I'm going to walk. And they're like, me too, my family's here. So we're going to raise a glass tonight.
I feel great. I don't know what else to say.
I recommend anybody to go to the school.
It was great, very exciting.
I feels great. Awesome.
It was awesome.
It feels good to know that I'm going to go home and never do homework again. It feels really good.
You never gave up. You all made the right choices, and that is what's brought you here today. Congratulations, everyone.
You guys, how good was that? I love that. That's my favorite. It's so cool. Okay, so just a quick reminder before we go into questions, just don't forget to schedule your new student welcome and getting started with IU call with your SSA. We always get questions about graduation after we watch that video because it's so good. So just to head off some of those questions, graduation is not required because we do not cover transportation to or lodging or food, anything like that. It is held at different places every single year. Sometimes it'll be Atlanta, sometimes it'll be Ohio, sometimes it'll be Texas. It changes every year, so we don't really know. But we do know there always will be a Salt Lake City one, and that we want to see you there if you can be there. So again, not required. If you don't go, you will be mailed your diploma in the mail. If you do go, you will also be mailed your diploma in the mail. It goes in the mail either way. So be aware of that. And then if you have any remaining questions, please put them in the Q&A. If you don't, you are free to go, and a copy of this recording will be emailed to you in a few days, or maybe at the end of the day. I'm not sure about the timing on that, but you will get an email with this recording if you need it. Don't forget to schedule with your SSA. And if you have any remaining questions, now is the time to put them in the Q&A box, and I'll be happy to answer them live. And a huge thank you to Chloe and Theora for helping us today get everything answered and attendance recorded and all that good stuff. So I don't see any questions in the Q&A, but if you have any, I'd love to see them and answer them. And if, yeah, y'all have a great day. If you all need to head out, go head out. But otherwise, put questions in the pod. I'll be here for another about 5 or 10 minutes. Can you be my SSA? Hey, Kayla, I may be your SSA. Who knows? We'll find out. That's so sweet. I promise you, whoever it is, you will just be so thrilled because all our SSAs are incredible. It's true. Yes, you should be looking for an email to schedule within probably by Thursday or Friday. And then on Monday, you may be getting something from your SSA directly. Yes, IU will provide you with a product key. That's when you're logging in. So it's not really a product key. It's more like they'll give you a login for Office 365 and you'll get an email with that. Yeah, if you want to join the meeting and scheduled in 2 hours, absolutely, please do. You are free to. It is the same link. It's at 4 o'clock. You like my voice. That's nice. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Well, if you want to hear more about my voice, there are several videos in the new student video library with computer basics, like how to copy and paste or how to download Zoom, but clearly y'all have already done that. Oh yeah, cancel that subscription, Jasmine, because you're going to get Office 365 for free as being part of a student. I love it. Xavier, what's the point of extra credit if it doesn't show up? It doesn't show up at week 3. It shows up in week 4. So so let's say you were at a 89 or an 88 or something in your class, and then you did extra credit every single week. If you were at that 88 or 90 or whatever in week 3, it's not going to push you over in week 3 because they don't apply it till week 4. But in week 4, that extra credit may be the pushover between getting a B plus and an A. So yeah. Would we be able to put Office on our personal computer rather than the tablet? Is there only one install allowed or multiple? That is a great question. Actually, you have 3 licenses, 2 for the devices that IU will send you, the laptop and the tablet, and 1 for a personal computer or a personal device. What for free time if we get done at time? Well, I mean, that's a good thing about going to school at IU. Your time is your own. You decide how you manage it. Can I do this meeting at 7? If you missed part of it or you need more questions answered, the same meeting will be going on again today at 4. I don't know if that is 7 o'clock your time. Yay, Jordan. Thank you so much. I'm pumped for you and excited for you as well. And again, if you don't have any more questions, you are free to go. Michael, if you have questions about the tablet or computer specifics, you can go to the help/chat, click that button, and there is information on the specifics. Now, if you want to know which specific one you're sending, I would talk to your admissions consultant. You guys, Chloe must have answered all your questions during the meeting. This is very good. For graduation, do we need to make our own flights book? Yes, exactly. So if you want to attend graduation, we absolutely welcome you, but you would need to be in charge of your own transportation and lodging, absolutely, in terms of paying for it and booking it. And yes, you would have to pay for it, absolutely. But again, it's not required. Can we take a walkthrough of the library using the login information we used to complete enrollment mods? Actually, the library is just in Shark, so if you visit the link right here, you don't even need to log in to get there. You can absolutely go in there. Now, there is a library login. I think if you just use your first and last name and your email, it should work, but it may need to start working next week. So. And good question, Walter. You probably cannot yet until you get an email from your admissions consultant introducing you. So if you haven't gotten an introduction email yet or a handoff email yet, then you would not be able to make up that appointment yet. But you will be able to later this week. But I love how you're ready to go. You're ready to do it. I love it. I work 7 to 2 and sometimes 2 to 9, and I'm just wondering if they have live lectures multiple times a day, just in case I'm at work while it's live. Great question. Let me show you something. If I go to Canvas, let me show you something cool. Okay, fine. All right, so if I go here and I look at live lectures, a lot of times this is what the live lecture courses will look like. It will pull up. There's a lot of people. Do you see this, guys? There's a lot. It's not just like 1 or 2. I mean, there's a substantial amount of options, and you only have to go to one of these. So there's even Sunday, Saturday. So yeah, you should be fine, Evan. Good question. Whitney, I was told about a professional email. Do I need to create one, or would I be able to use the one I have? It's up to you. If your email is, fluffy bunny and kitties and dogs, and I love animals @gmail.com, maybe you should make a new one. But if it's, W. Davis or Whitney Davis or something that looks professional, yeah, I would just leave it as is for sure. It's up to you though. Okay, guys, I'm going to be shutting it down in about 1 or 2 minutes here. That seems about all the questions we got. And thank you all for coming today. Thank you, Chloe, for sticking with me. And if y'all need anything else, don't forget to ask your admissions consultant until they send you over to your student services advisor on Monday next week. At that point, student services advisor will take over. But until then, admissions consultant is who you will still be working with. Okay, thank you all so much for coming today, and have a great rest of your day. And again, welcome to IU.